Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special live going on tonight. It's on a different night. We got Shayla Showcase that's going to be coming up. We got a special guest. He's going to throw me for a loop. I already know it. I'm putting it out there. However, I want to appreciate everyone that's on the live. Keep the comments coming. We're going to have fun. We're going to be talking about so many wonderful things. Let me get this banner up here real quick. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I forgot. We got so many wonderful things. It's your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker, Coach Clee, coming at you. I want to thank you guys for tuning in right now. This is going to be interactive, okay? So remember, by the time that you post a comment till the time that we see it, there may be about a 5 to 10 second delay, but we will acknowledge the comments that we see. We don't see all the comments. I'm apologize for that, but we will see some of them. The ones that we don't see, we will acknowledge after the live during the replay, okay? But right now, I need to know what the energy levels are. I need to know what the energy levels are like. So if you had a good day today, I need you to put a 1 in the comment section. Put a 1 in the comment section if you had a good day today. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe in bad days. I like to call them character building days because you can learn from them. You can grow from them. They're necessary because they make you appreciate the outstanding days that much more better. So if you had an outstanding day, if you had a character building day, a quote unquote bad day, I need you to put a 2. Looks like a peace sign. Put a 2 in the comment section if you had a character building day. Put a 2 in the comment section if you had a character building day, and hopefully tomorrow's a better day for you. And if you had what I had, because I got to relax a little bit, I got to run some errands, got to take care of some things, I had an outstanding day. I need you to put a 0 in that, Chumpy. Put a 0 in the comment section if you had an outstanding day. Put a 0 in the comment section if you had an outstanding day. And you know, that's what we all strive for. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Let me see if that shows up. Does show? There we go. Coach Clee put a 0 in the comment section. Absolutely. Right now, most of you are on the Coach Clee page on Facebook. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like that page. We're also on YouTube currently as we speak. We're under the same name, Coach Clee. Hit that subscribe button and check out all those videos on there. We're also on Anchor and Spotify, so download those to your phone and listen to those podcasts. They'll be uploaded at least by the end, within a few days or so. We'll say they'll be uploaded within a couple days or so. The website, workwithclee.com. That's we got that. It's not for ticking or in above, but it will be momentarily. Don't look at it right now, but at the end of this live, check the website out. On that website, you're going to see a bunch of wonderful things. Shout out to Jay Moore because it was under construction all last week, and he made the website look beautiful. It's very organized and looks great. On the website is my first book, March 4th, which is the motivational empowerment book on helping you find your own breakthrough. Secondly, on the website is No Shade, All Light. 25 your favorite quotes and what they mean to us. Jason Brown, Herb Thompson, Clarence Stokes, and myself all wrote this book. There's over 100 quotes in this book with meaning. And definitely last but not least, we got #grudge. It came out earlier this year. Whether you're holding on to a grudge, anger, mistake, or anything like that, we tell you how to get over that. It's a guide for you to live a better life. Holding on to a grudge, like Les Brown says, is like holding on to a hot piece of coal in your hand and expecting the person that you're angry with to feel the pain, to get burnt. But instead, you're burning yourself. Sometimes you just got to let that thing go and start the healing process. And we talk about all that in this book, all right? Make sure you check out the website. But we're going to be getting to this live here momentarily, but we're going to jump over to Shayla for Shayla Showcase. You ready, Shayla?
I am ready. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, Coach Clee, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. I have a question for you.
What's your question?
Are you classy?
I'm the classiest dude alive.
But are you mighty classy?
Oh, what is that?
I'll tell you all about it. Make sure you check out Sonia Stokes 24/7. You can shop with her. She is a paparazzi accessories independent consultant, and you can find information at paparazziaccessories.com/55766. The price is only $5. That's right, $5 for nickel and lead-free jewelry that'll have you looking and feeling mighty classy. If you like jewelry, join her on Facebook Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on our Mighty Classy design page. We will make sure we have that tagged here at the end. There will be fun chances to win free jewelry and Mighty Classy designs. If you love jewelry and appreciate extra money, join our team. You can find that information on her website as well. And then moving on, a former guest, Cy Emery, has written a novel called Over the Tracks. It's a must-read with themes of race, loss, and friendship. This young adult novel sizzles with action, suspense, and urban drama. The characters grab your heart and won't let go, leaving you begging for more. Over the Tracks can be found on Amazon Books. Then moving on to one of our faves, House of Vegans, which is located in Midtown Harrisburg at 1426 North 3rd Street. They have amazing food. Highly recommend checking them out. Even if you don't like vegan food, still give them a try. I am not vegan, but I do like to eat there Sundays, especially because they have their infamous slat burger, which tastes amazing. And right across the street, same owners have opened Good Brothers Cafe, which opened, I believe it was last Monday. They are a one-of-a-kind bookstore in the area, which again is directly across from House of Vegans. They have great coffee, pastries, and literature from all over the world and country. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30, and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So make sure you check them out in Midtown as well. Last but certainly not least, we have DJ Bliss Productions for your musical needs, big or small. Let DJ Bliss take your party, corporate event, or reception to the next level. He specializes in all music genres. You can contact him contact DJ Bliss at djbliss717 at AOL.com or follow him on Facebook at DJ Bliss. And that's all I have for this week's Shayla Showcase.
Good job. Good job. Thank you very much. You did a wonderful job. I know she likes doing that. Now she's off screen, and so now she's going to go ahead and relax a little bit and have a little bit of fun. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce our guest, our man of the hour, the guy who's going to entertain us real quick. He's hype. He's a good friend of mine. He is a husband. He is a father. He has excellent leadership skills. His skills are extraordinary, by the way. He rose to the level of first sergeant in the United States Army. He's also, more importantly to me, he's also on my board of directors for Tillman Productions. And he's, last but not least, he's a game changer. He's a game changer in the field of life. He's in a game changer right now. Ladies and gentlemen, give him thumbs up. Give him some hearts. Give him some thumbs up. I want to introduce Jamone Nelson. Jamone, how you doing?
What's up? What's up, man? How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm great now.
Yeah,
what's going on with you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, you just explained everything. Like you said, married, got a few kids. That, they live here. But I'm joking. But married, got some kids. Been in the Army in about 6 months. It'll be 20 years.
Okay.
Got my associate's degree in criminal justice. Currently pursuing my bachelor's. Really haven't been on my priority list for the past 3-4 years, but just trying to get there because I'm amping up for retirement here in the near future. So other than that, I'm just me, man. You know me. I like to have fun. I like to entertain people. I like to help people. Actually, I got a few of my soldiers that I mentor that's currently on live right now. So I'm just looking forward to a good live, man, and having some fun tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. We definitely are. I got Richard Marks is on. He said, nice, good job and all that, man. So what is it like to actually be 20 years in the United States Army? I mean, I'm a former vet myself, but I'm nowhere close to 20 years.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I 20 years ago, I didn't think I was going to make it to 20.
Okay.
When I first joined the Army, I can't even tell you really why I joined the Army. I was on a lunch break, working at KFC, doing my thing, flipping my chicken, doing me, having a little fun. Rode by a recruit station and I ended up in there, told the dude, hey, don't lie to me, man. Just send me. I ain't gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I told him, hey, send me where the girls at. That's what I told him. That ain't what he did though.
I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna keep him out.
That ain't what he did. He sent me to Fort Knox. It was not a single female for.
Oh wow, you went to Knox.
Yeah, he played me. But other than that, man, I mean, like I said, I had no intentions of making it to where I am. The game changer for me was when my first son was born, because that made me realize that I had to become a man. Right. It was one thing when I was out, doing me, but when you have a child, it's like, man, I gotta be an example for this kid, and not knowing, exactly what that looked like. There's no rule for being a parent. You live and you learn, man. And my kids have taught me more, and my oldest is 16, more than 16 years than I've learned in the military in 20, and more than I've learned in my life in 38 years. So
I believe that too.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I know because we didn't have them talks, man. So
we done had some private conversation. We sure did. I see Jay Yoy's on. He's a former guest on the show. He said, "Wow, Knox." I said the same thing, man. I did my basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, man.
Relaxing Jackson.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with that.
It's a few more people on this live that went to Relaxing Jackson, but
hey,
I ain't gonna call no names.
Hey, it's all right, man. I had fun at Fort Jackson and went straight to Fort Benning, Georgia Airborne School. Taz Burnett's on. Thank you for tuning in. Please tag, like, and share. And I ended up at Fort Bragg, man. But not enough about me. Tell us during your enlistment, where have you gone throughout your travels?
So the last time I counted, I've been to 37 different states. But as far as being stationed, I started off in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Moved from there to Arkansas. From Arkansas to where did I go from Arkansas? Harrisburg.
Okay.
No, I take that back. I went to Philly.
Okay.
Philly. I was in the petroleum unit out there. Left there and came to Dallas, Texas, to engineer battalion. I actually helped stand that battalion up. So I was one of the first people on ground at that unit. From there, I went to be an instructor in Harrisburg, which is when I met you.
Yep.
There, from there, I went to New Orleans to a 2-star command. That's when I really, really learned everything about the Army. When I got to a level where I could really see not only the strategic, but the organization, the big picture. So, and I worked my butt off when I was down there. And now here back in Dallas, trying to on the downslope.
Mm-hmm. You living the life of an old man now.
Yeah.
So, other than where you've been stationed, what kind of schooling did you get in the military?
So I've done everything from PLDC, which is probably something you remember. You didn't get to go to it because you didn't make it past PFC, but I mean,
I did. Yes, I did.
Oh, yes, yeah, you made it to specialist. That's right.
That's right. I'm E14, baby.
Yeah, you're PFC now on the cop side, right?
Wow, here we go. Throw all that stuff out there. It's a different level, though. It's not the same level, but okay, you can go ahead and throw titles there. Titles mean nothing.
But anyway, so primary leadership development course, advanced leader course, senior leader course, master leader course. I've done some joint logistic courses. I mean, 20 years, man. So you can imagine what my resume, what it looks like as far as courses. I think one of the most challenging, well, I ain't gonna say the most challenging, but the best course I've been to, they came out with this course called Master Resilience Trainer. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those courses that help you get to understand and get to know you. And it helps you understand that no matter how we all may look alike, we're all not the same. And we all have different backgrounds, and we all have to, try to understand that, the things that may affect me may not affect you, or vice versa. So it's one of those things where, you actually get to learn and understand. And I think that's a big piece of what I've learned in leadership, just understanding that, everybody is different, and the way that I treat everybody and how I go about things with those individuals, is what makes the difference. So
right, understandable. And Jay, you always say that both of us we crack him up. We got a relatable history, obviously. So mine is way cooler, which is true. 82nd leads away. What was your initial MOS? Did you stick with your initial MOS from the time that you enlisted till now, or did you change your?
Absolutely not. So, like I said, when I went to the recruiting station, I was chasing the girls. Right, I was young, right out of high school, 2 weeks out of high school, and he told me, he's like, "Hey, man," and after being in the Army, you kind of learn a whole lot. Like, so recruiters, they not gonna tell you this because they swear that it ain't true, but they have quotas to meet, and they have to meet certain MOS. They have jobs that they have to, the Army needs, whatever. So he tricked me into going to the Army to be a cook. And I thought when I got there, I was like, man, I know all the women in the Army cooking. Not really thinking about the fact that I'm working at KFC and it ain't not one female cook over there. So, so women don't really cook. Like, this one, like, when I get there, I'm like, man, this is not what it looked like. He played me. So I only did that for a short period of time. And then I transitioned over to be what I am now, which is a mechanic. And unfortunately, it's crazy because growing up, my dad, when everybody else was out playing, my dad always made me and my brother go out and work on cars. So we was the kids that we worked on cars. We fixed foundations on houses. We roofing houses. We did all of the stuff that nobody else wanted to do. And both me and my brother both swear that we would never do it when we grew up. And now for 20 years, I've been a mechanic in the Army. And my brother is a diesel mechanic on the civilian side. So we did everything that we said we wasn't going to do.
It's funny what a foundation will teach you. It'll bring you through. Got to give a shout out to Third Lester. He's on. Got to give a shout out to Ani. She's on. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please tag, like, and share. And I do know what you're saying about talking to a recruiter, because when I went to go talk to a recruiter myself, I wanted to get a job. I thought, honestly, I was going to enlist to be also some sort of mechanic, because I wanted to learn something that I could learn out when I got out the Army as well. Or I was going to go and be a firefighter or something like that. I was looking into both of them. And believe it or not, well, you obviously, you know, I got talked into being a parachute rigger. And I till this day, I still don't know how he glamorized that, other than the fact that the catchphrase he got me with was, "You could be the first kid on your block to successfully jump out of an airplane." And I'm like, wow. And just from that alone, I'm like, I'm gonna be a parachute rigger.
Yep. And now when you look back, you still don't even know to this day why you even did that.
Nah, man, those skills they're gone. There's not much to use out here.
And it's nothing that you can use in the civilian side. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
If I can go back to 20 years ago, I would probably do IT or something like that, because that's something that for real is rolling over into the civilian side. Like that's where the money is.
Tell them there's people on here that's thinking about enlisting for whatever reasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I tell you what, if you don't have a plan, and I tell this to anybody that I know, if you don't have a plan, and or something isn't going the way that you had planned, I wouldn't change anything for the world, man. The Army is the way to go. I've met some amazing people. I have some friends that I can call almost everywhere, all over the world. So I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Agreed.
It's a great opportunity, and it made me, like I said, it showed you discipline. It showed me anyway. It showed me discipline and made me who I am, because I didn't have this. I wouldn't have been this way otherwise. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Jay, it gives me great insight to see Clea as well, enjoying this conversation. Well, I'm glad you're tuning in, Mr. Yoy. I'm glad you're tuning in. You're sitting on the couch with me as well during this Super Bowl, so you might as well tune in to something and enjoy ourselves. But besides the military, Jamone, what other clubs or affiliations are you a part of?
No. So, of course, you would have something like that.
Well, see, there you go, man. I told you you're gonna be doing all this stuff.
Nah, I'm gonna stay on track for that. I told you at some point I am gonna get off script, because I'm gonna change the game up on you, because that's just what I do. And being a board of director, I think I'm supposed to at least make you have to answer some of my questions. So just know that they're coming.
I don't have to answer nothing. I'm not part of your unit, dog.
Just know that they're coming. But anyway, so I'm a Rough Rider. So, and that's on the motorcycle side. I'm not. Yes, we are affiliated with DMX Rough Riders. That is the same organization. There you go. One of your favorite rappers, right? So
yes.
So yeah, that's. Other than that, man, I lay low, man. I chill. I go to work and home. I spend a lot of time at gymnastics with my daughter's competition gymnastics team. I spend a lot of time at dance, because she's on the competition dance team. Because of the pandemic, I'm not allowed to go to my son's basketball games or my other son's swim meets. So they go to them, and they're having fun with it, but I just don't get a chance to actually go in and see what they're doing on that side. But so dance and gymnastics, man, that's what I do on my free time.
So speaking about the pandemic, man, how has it affected you? And where are you looking, hoping that things will be in maybe a couple months or to a year from now?
Well, I mean, thank God. Honestly, the pandemic really haven't affected me at all. When it comes to livelihood, it hasn't. I mean, I have family members, I have friends that have lost, loved ones. I have people that have lost their jobs. I have soldiers that's even struggling, trying to make it. But financially, haven't impacted me at all. Both me and my wife both are still working. She's an essential worker. She's a social worker. And then with me in the military, not only being in the military, but being in a medical unit, that piece of research and what we bring to the table on the medical side has basically increased. So where everybody else is able to kind of chill a little bit, we're still out grinding. So
right.
So yeah, that the only way it's impacted me or affected me is made my workload that much because our up tempo has picked up a whole lot. So.
And speaking of workload, I'm gonna kind of change gears right now since you say everything's pretty scripted. That we're gonna discuss some hot topics. Was there some hot topics that you wanted to talk about or throw out there? Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? Gotcha. What you said something? There was something that I believe before Shayla did her showcase that she was talking about something with what was it with what was it? Okay, see now I'm getting no help. Something with Wendy Williams and Method Man or something.
Oh man, Shayla was tracking all of that. I don't know what's going on out there in the civilian world.
You supposed to save all that though. See,
he was joking.
I ain't got time for jokes. Hey man, see, she talking.
I don't follow too much celebrity news because they don't follow what I do. When I'm a low level dude, so I don't really spend a lot of time following what all these people that got money.
I just want everyone to know right now they trying to play me, but that's okay. Mr. York, he said I can relate. My son's swim meets were a very huge part of his free time. You are obviously a devoted dad. Glad you didn't have a pandemic to hinder those moments. Sounds like you're doing your best. I do. That is a very true statement. I do believe that. And you're in the state of Texas, so you guys, your stuff spread out a little different, a little bit further than what I'm used to. I mean, you travel with some things.
Yeah. But I mean, ultimately, man, like I honestly, my daily, every day I get up, like I spend a lot of time focused on my family and trying to make sure I wake up every morning at 5 o'clock just to turn the heater on because everybody likes to sleep in the cold, but I wake up at 5 o'clock just to turn the heater on. When they wake up at 6, the house is warm, so that's
your cold is different than our cold, but go ahead.
Either way, it's still cold. and if it's 68 degrees in the morning when my kids get up, it's almost like, pouring some thick syrup down the side of a building. It's not moving real fast. They just wake up and just be like, "Dad, it's too cold." And at 7 o'clock, when it's time to go go out the door, they just not putting their shoes on. So I wake up an hour early just to make sure that they get up and move, and I got to throw them out a little bit.
It kind of reminds me of a story too. I'm not gonna throw them under the bus, but I did take a trip down to Dallas before, and I remember it was the first day of school for somebody who had a phantom book bag that they couldn't find, and had me looking for something that wasn't there. I felt bad for the boy, man.
He won't ever do that again.
Dude knew he didn't have a book bag and was looking for a book bag that wasn't there so he can make it to school on time. And threw me out there. I'm like, man, where you put it? I'm helping them look for something that ain't even in the house.
And for a split second, both of y'all thought y'all was about to get a whoop.
Yeah. Somebody came up with a very motherly look and a very motherly tone. I like, man, I'm about to go hide in the closet. I forgot I was grown for a minute. Threw me for a loop.
But my kids are my inspiration, man. That's what keep me going every day. Honestly, like I said, especially now, I'm focusing on getting to the point where I'm ready to retire. Which, speaking of, just for anybody out there that's listening, you got that retirement mode. You can't wait until you a year out from thinking that you're going to retire to start prepping to retire. Retirement is a major accomplishment. However, retirement is a lot of work too, because your money is not going to be the same when you retire. Your day is not going to be the same when you retire. So you have to make sure that you're prepping or preparing yourself for all of those additional changes that's going to come, and making sure that you're not only financially ready, but mentally ready, because a lot of people in life, they get to the point of retirement, and then after that, they don't have anything else to do. And they lose themselves in the process of, trying to change paths in their life. So make sure that you're spending that time, that quality time, making sure and understanding that you are prepared for that next step. And you know, it's a lot of work, man. I can tell you. I've been doing this for 20 years, and for 20 years I've been doing the same thing. And now, you know, at the point where, you know, you're even considering retirement, you got to sit back and be like, man, what am I gonna do? And, you know, if you're like me, you're constantly telling yourself, I'm not ever working again. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm not clocking in on nobody's job. But in reality, I know I can't sit in this house every day, you know. And and by the time I actually retire, my kids will be, you know, moving out. So it's not like I'm gonna have that additional, hey, I gotta get up and go to, you know, a basketball game or you know, a swim meet or a dance or whatever. So, and I'm not in a hurry to get grandkids. So
Yeah, I believe that.
It's gonna be me, you know.
Mr. Yours said, "Amen." He's close to retirement. Also, he's taking your words to heart, and he's actually might even delay his time to retirement.
Hey, I'm telling you, a lot of people do it, man, and it's what we all work for. It's what we all, you know, strive to that area where we're striving to be. But at the end of the day, if you don't just prepare for it, it can be a culture shock. You know, taking an 18-year-old that moved from Arkansas, where the population in the town was like 11,000, and sitting me in a city in Philadelphia where my neighborhood had 11,000 people in it. You know, that right there was a culture shock for me. So you know, or when, you know, a town where you had just stop signs, and now you got, you know, a red light and a grocery store and somebody shooting and some cops running, you know, and ambulance and fire trucks. And I got a kid, you know, so that's what that was like for me, you know, at 21 years old. So
And we got Coach Steve early on. He said, "What up, bro? How you doing?"
I'm good. What's up, Steve?
Yeah.
So Clee, so you asking me all these questions. So let's take a little twist, because like I said, being on the board of directors, you're always sitting on the
fired.
That's fine. You're always sitting on the side and you're always asking us questions. And everybody that comes on the show, you know, everybody got something different to bring to the table. However, you know, we understand that you put on the put on. We get all of that. You know, we feel you. But what exactly what inspires Coach Clee?
What inspires Coach Clee? Oh, that's an easy and wonderful question. Thank you for asking me that. What inspires me is to actually watch people flourish, to actually bring them on camera and have a discussion with them, get to meet them, get to know them, because it's fun meeting new people. It's fun having a conversation. It's fun getting that information out there. Plus, it's necessary and it's needed. We talked about the motivational moments happen before, where I like giving good advice. You know, you put positive information out there, positive stuff starts happening to you in your life. And you see that's the fruition of March 4th and so many wonderful things. You start putting stuff out there, projects happen. And so a good friend of ours, with me, you, and him, Tony Champong, we drove down to Raleigh, North Carolina together. That's a whole separate conversation. But he was having an event with an affiliation he's with that he's an electrical engineer. He was tutoring high school kids. He wanted to get that information out there. I told him to come on the show and use the platform to provide that information so he could potentially get more students to go to this free class that they were putting on, or seminar, or whatever it was. This a couple years ago. And it worked out. They got a few more, I don't remember the exact number, than what they would have had before had they would not have done it. And it showed me and it showed him, and he told me how necessary getting our information out there so it could be a platform of things that's going on locally or nationally or whatever. Just to share that information, whether it's virtual, whether someone started their own business, whether someone has their own product, whether someone just wants to get on and have a positive message. You know, that's what Coach Clee is all about. I mean, there's other avenues that I got other projects going at the same time, but it's necessary to highlight other people and get that information out there, because most of the stuff that was going on at the time, I didn't even know about. And not being in the know is not a good feeling when things are going on right around your own corner. I know that was a long answer, but did that answer your question?
It did. It was a perfect answer. Like I said, because I spend a lot of time on the phone with you, right? And I know most people don't understand how much work goes into all of these lives. It's more than just logging onto a computer and getting on and talking for 30 minutes or an hour. It's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of, making sure that we understand how this back and forth is going to go. It's filling out paperwork. It's knowing your background. Sometimes you even have to go and read books that you wasn't even planning to read. But, when you're trying to make sure that you're putting out a good product, you have to make sure that you're investing your time. So a lot of time goes into what you're doing. And I think a lot of people don't really understand how much goes into that. But at the same time, I know that you're working on a lot of stuff, even on your downtime, even at night when you're out working and you call, it's like, hey man, I was thinking about this, what you think about this, and then you got my wheels spinning for 3, 4, 5 hours while you're working and I was supposed to be asleep. And now I'm working on some stuff in my mind to help you continue to put on. But it's good to know and good to get that feedback from the person who's doing this all the time instead of just always, getting our opinion on things, because I think people need to really understand what Coach Klee is and what Coach Klee is about. It's more than when you say you put on, you're genuine with that. Like I hear it even in conversations that's not on live. I hear it even when just our genuine, our just basic conversation. So I know that you're real about this, and I know that you really want everybody around you to flourish. But I think people need to also understand that in order for you to flourish, that support is necessary. So that's kind of the reason why I stick around. I told you from the beginning, like when you blow up, I ain't looking to get nothing from it. I just want to be able to say, hey man, I was there when he first started the first live and he was on the camera. He had his face real close to the phone. He spoke for like 36 seconds and he was real oaky.
It was actually a minute and 12 seconds.
And didn't even know what he was doing. Well, the first 26 didn't count because you had your phone so close. You didn't even understand what you were saying. But just from that to going to hour and a half shows, from not only from stateside, people in other countries, people in other states, even the platform you got now, like this is something where even in a pandemic, you're still putting that same product out that you was putting out prior to COVID. So I tip my hat out to you because I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for me and I don't even do it. I got to get on. I get beat up just for all the listeners out there. I get beat up for not getting on the lives on time. I get beat up because, I forget sometimes that I'm on Central Standard Time and the lives at Eastern Time. And, it happens. But, hey, I appreciate everything you're doing, man. I appreciate everything you're
doing. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that long, drawn-out answer. Thank you very much. And Steve's chiming in. He said, back in the days when I used to talk real fast, I'd be so excited to be live and to get that information out there. I had to talk quick. I had to talk real quick to get all that information out there real quick before I forgot it. And then I'd be stuck in a blur and I didn't want to be stuck in a blur. So I had to learn how to slow it down and bring it down to a level where people could understand. It became normal for me instead of talking real fast. I remember those days too. I know.
You were nervous.
I was nervous, and
you wasn't trying to get the information out. You were nervous.
No, it was nerves, and it was a lot. It was information overload because I had all of it at the same time. Where it felt like if I slowed it down, I would forget a piece here, forget a piece there. Where I still forget a lot in the process, but it's okay because you can only do what you can do, and I've learned to accept I can only give what I can give instead of trying. I can't give the whole bucket of water all the time. If you're pouring a bucket of water into a cup, a couple of those drops are going to spill. Not everything's going to make it, but the intention's pure.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what though? I'm glad you said that about the cup because I use this analogy all the time with some of my soldiers. We spend a lot of time pouring into people, but if you're pouring a lot into a cup with a hole in it, sometimes you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
So it's one of them things where when you're using, even with the cup half full, cup half empty, it's one of them things, man. You just
I know. And Steve's saying, yeah, Busta Rhymes. I used to talk like Busta Rhymes. Let me tell you what I want to do.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
But real quick, because you reminded me, I got to give a shout out to the first guest of 2021. His book arrived. David Valente, Maurice Kennedy. I got your book. Oh, yeah, I forgot his book. Got your book. It arrived. I'm gonna take time. You know, how you said you got to invest in other people, and I got the book, so I got to take the time to read it, and I'm excited about this one. So absolutely, if you didn't get your copy, go back and watch the live. It was January 6th or 9th. So it was the beginning of this year. Go check that out, and there's the book right there. Thank you for reminding me of that as well.
Yep, good stuff.
Yeah. And Steve asked an earlier question. He said, who do you like more, the Saints or the Raiders? We already know the answer to this nonsense question. I don't even know.
I'm not even going to answer that question. I actually had a Saints backdrop, but I couldn't get it to hang
on the wall. Oh, well.
I didn't want to put a hole in my wife's wall because then I probably couldn't put it in the house.
We're all on the couch together, so it really doesn't matter.
There you go. The Raiders was there first, though.
Yeah, they were. They've been there for years.
Yeah, I know. They did win a few games this year, though.
Any other curveballs you want to throw?
Nah, I'm not gonna throw in the curveballs yet. I'm good.
Yeah, you said yeah.
Yeah. We can go get back to the script. Man.
I tried to, but we had to take it. So let's talk about inspiration. You know, if seriously, if a little kid's watching you right now for the very first time and they see you interacting as a normal person, I mean, I know you as a normal, of course, but they see you, you're high up there in the military ranking structure. You've been in the military for a little, knocking on 20 years, the door of 20 years. And they're looking at you like you have accomplished so much. You got to travel, you get to wear the cool uniforms, you get to do all the cool stuff that everyone sees on TV and hears about, and when rumors are just daily conversation. What advice would you give them, or what advice would you give the version of you that the 20-year ago version of you?
So I think most importantly, the biggest thing that I would say to any kid is you don't get anywhere by not putting in effort. You have to work to get where you want to go, because at the end of the day, you got some of those of us that are, you know, we may consider ourselves good. Then you got some people that consider themselves great. But at the end of the day, you are what you are, and you have to put forth that effort. And anything that you're missing, anything that you're lacking, anything that, you know, whatever weaknesses you have, just to kind of go back when we were talking about when I told you I was an instructor before. Mm-hmm. When I was a E5, I was just getting promoted to E6. I called one of my mentors, and one of the things I asked, I was like, "Hey, what I got to do to get promoted?" Like he's like, "Man, you got to do this, you got to do this," and he naming all of this stuff. And he's like, you got to look at some of them assignments that nobody want to take. So I called my career manager, and the only thing that they tell me was, you want to be an instructor? And man, when he said instructor, my hands started sweating. Like I was that young soldier that was, you put me in front of a crowd, I would almost pee myself. I was so nervous. Like, I hated talking in front of crowds. I hated being in the front. But I knew that in order for me to get to where I wanted to go, I had to step out of my comfort zone. And that's one of so I had to get out of my comfort zone. So the first thing I did, I called my career manager. I said, "Hey, put me in the instructor position." And the sergeant major called me. He did the interview or whatever. I evidently I did good because they selected me for the position. Mm-hmm. And all the way from Texas to Pennsylvania, I'm driving and I'm thinking to myself, man, how in the world am I going to be an instructor? And I know I'm terrified of talking in front of people. This is not going to work. But man, it actually turned out to be one of my best and favorite assignments, because I was able not only to instruct, and I was really good at it, but I was able to give back everything that I have learned over the years. But I was also one of the main things that I always put out was, hey, I know you guys are here to learn, but I'm also here to learn from you, because experience is the biggest teacher. So those things that we do in life sometimes, you find shortcuts, especially being a mechanic. We got the book way. You go out there, you got to take off this nut, you got to take off this screw, you got to do all of this stuff. But then when you got somebody that's been doing it for a while, they turn around and say, "Hey man, you ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is reach your hand around here and take this off, and you're good." So I learned a lot from them. They learned a lot from me, but I became really good at it because I stepped out of my comfort zone, and because I knew I wanted to succeed. I did whatever I had to do to succeed. So that's one of the things that I would tell anybody. Like, don't be complacent. Don't be stagnant. Stagnant water attract mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? I could drink some of your nuggets all day.
Yeah. The trademark, buddy. Trademark.
But at the end of the day, if you don't put yourself in a position to grow, you're gonna stay where you at. So I have even my godson came out about a year ago. Mm-hmm. And we got a nice house, and one of the things he was like, man, I'm gonna join the Army so I can get me a nice house. I'm like, hold up, stop, pump your brakes. It's more to it. It's more to it than just joining the Army to get a nice house. Like, you got to remember, I've been doing this for 20 years. This is my first house. So don't just jump and think that just because you join the Army that you're gonna make Master Sergeant. Just think that it's stepping stones to this, and that's one of the things I would say. Put forth 100%, and I made the reference kind of going into your next question when I was talking about some of us good and some of us great. Jim Collins, that's one of my favorite books, From Good to Great, because at the end of the day, you have to put forth that effort to go from good to great. All of us are good, but what are you doing yourself to make yourself great? So even some of my soldiers, I tell them all the time, like, hey, you always got to do something to separate yourself from your peers, because at the end of the day, when it comes to promotions, that it's a triangle. It's a lot of positions at the bottom. It's billions of them, but at the top, it's only a few. So and then, like I think I told you this on my last live, less than 2% of the people in my MOS make it to where I am right now. So 2% of the Army's mechanics, that's a lot of people. And I consider myself blessed to be where I am right now.
Good story. Good to follow. Good quotes as well. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Steve got a question also. What military jobs transition best into civilian jobs?
So I would, it's a lot of them, but I would think at this point in time, like I said, any IT related or even cybersecurity type jobs, any security or IT type jobs are the ones that I would say are probably the most, because you get there's a lot of certifications. So a lot of the certifications that we get in the military exceed anything that you can get, or even if it don't exceed, you got to pay a lot of money for it on the civilian side. Yeah. So, the fact that you can use the Army, and I say use that, but you get what I'm saying. It's not necessarily using the Army, but you're using the Army to get that extra push. And that's why I tell people all the time: if you don't have a plan, join the Army for 3 years. It'll do that one thing that you probably can't afford to do on your civilian side because you don't have the money. The Army puts you in position. They get you all the training that you need. They get you all the certifications that you need, and when you step out, you're able to, like you say, you're able to flourish. So that would be my ideal pick. And even mechanic, man. Like I'm a diesel mechanic, and 18-wheelers are never getting off the road. They're going to be, and the same engines that's in military equipment are the same engines that's on the road in civilian. And I reference military and civilian because that's just what I've been doing for 20 years. But that's just. But so you learn all of those traits. You get your ASC certifications. You get all of this stuff, and once you roll out, you're able to go. You can possibly even start your own company, or you just go work for somebody else. But because you got these certifications, they got to pay you a lot more money. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I believe so. I know also in certain occupations you get military preference as well. For certain jobs, you get, if you have to take a test, a civil service exam, and you have to take that test, you automatically have 10 points higher than anyone else who isn't prior service or didn't serve in the military. So if you score 89 on the test, you automatically scored a 99. And if you scored a flat out 100, you got 110 points right off the bat. I mean, there's many benefits. We talked about it before on past lives. If I could redo it all, honestly, I had a scholarship to go to Towson State that I did not follow for football, and I was just tired of going to school at the time. Had I known better, honestly, I would have did that. I would have gone reserves. I would have lived the best of both worlds. Honestly, I'd have got an education, whether it was the scholarship or through the military. I'd just been a vet with a bachelor's degree and just had fun playing ball and doing the Army. I think there's opportunities to live the best of both worlds. And I had a great time in the Army. A lot of people I remember asked, especially during my 20s, that how could you get used to wearing the same uniform every day? How could you just work all day long and do PT all day? I had fun. I had a ball. I mean, we traveled, we made money.
It's funny that you say that, right? Because those people that ask those same questions, like, because I still get those questions to this day. Like, how do you get used to just wearing Army boots and a uniform every day? But then you turn around and cops wear uniforms every day. Nurses wear scrubs every day. I mean, all of this stuff, you're still wearing a uniform every day. It's a different type of uniform. But to me, it's convenient. I don't got to wake up and look for clothes. I don't got to earn. Like, I take my uniforms to the cleaners. I get them out. I hang them up, put them on. Like, I don't got to make sure my shirt match, because it's the same shirt, my socks match. I mean, all of that stuff that's all provided. So I can do it every day. It's convenient.
You don't have to worry about what you're putting on. The only time you worry about what you're wearing is when you either going somewhere fancy or if you're hanging out. I mean, you have clothes for that. You don't have really work clothes itself.
Exactly. So, but yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I've enjoyed it. I never thought. I honestly never thought I would see the day where I made Master Sergeant, to be honest with you. I definitely didn't think that I would make it to 20 years because in my younger specialist days, I wasn't that dude, man. I wasn't super squared away. And it wasn't that I wasn't super squared away. I just really just.
I want to say before you finish, why you throwing shots? You throwing secret shots?
No. I'm dead serious. When I was a specialist, man, I didn't put forth the energy. Like, I knew I can go out and take a PT test, but I was like, why am I going to go out here and run 2 miles in 13 or 14 minutes when they give me 16 minutes to do it? Or, so I'm going to just take all of my time out. Or why am I going to go out here and do 70 push-ups when I can just do 42 and I still pass? Like, so, I mean, that was me. I was mediocre. I met the standard, and honestly, like I said, when I had my son and I got married, of course, my whole life changed because I realized that, man, I got to make a career out of this and make the best out of it. So,
right. Yeah. And Steve asked another question. I'll read it here in a minute. Shayla's talking about, well, we all know what happens or what's going to happen when the world opens up with these new clothes.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I'm not a spokesman for Men's Warehouse, but I can tell you, they had a sale, man, and I stocked up. I'm not even gonna lie. I got suits for days, man. I may even start wearing my suits to work. I got enough of them, man. And listen, hey, if you don't shop on Men's Warehouse, you might want to check their sales out.
Right. The inventory is getting low, and the prices look like they're shooting back up for like a 2-month span. I got more shoes that I can think of that were very dirt cheap. Shirts, ties, suits, pants, blazers, things that I wouldn't normally buy. A little not cuff. What are the pocket squares? Gloves, jackets.
Ties, socks. You name it, I got it. Cufflinks. I mean, you name it. My stock is high right now.
So when the world opens back up and events go on again, I'm ready.
I should have started buying all sizes, and I could have started selling stuff whenever the world opened back up for real.
Yeah,
I probably could have made some money.
Yeah, it's still time. You better hurry up and log off and do it.
No, I'm good.
But Steve's question, he's asking, what type of people generally don't do well in the military?
So to be honest with you, it's no group of people, honestly, that don't do well in the military. What the people that normally don't do well in the military are those people that don't have leadership that invest that time. One of the things that I tend to do, especially with all of my soldiers, is sit them down and talk about the things, because we all gonna do the soldier stuff, we all gonna do the Army stuff, we're all gonna do whatever our job entails. But typically, the things that make us not do well is everything else, our personal life. So some of the things that I sit down and talk to soldiers about is their finances, and because that's where when people start messing up their money, they start messing up their work. It starts affecting everything else. So people that typically don't do well are the people that don't really have nobody that invests time in them. And you have different type of leadership skills, and everybody is different. But one of the things that it takes being a leader is patience, because the thing, like I said, that there's a lot of people out there that, you know, that may have been like Coach Clee and then follow the rules, and somebody wrote him off real quick. But if he, I mean, to be honest with you, to be honest with you, with that same situation that you had, if somebody would have invested time, it could have made all the difference, because at the end of the day, we're all subject to make mistakes. And I think that's the thing that people don't understand, is the fact that none of us are perfect, you know, and in life, you're going to make mistakes. It's all about what you do after you make those mistakes, and how you move forward with it. So I don't think there's a certain group of people that don't do good. It's just certain people that people don't feel like investing a lot of time in them, because they probably are that cup with a hole in it that you got to keep pouring into and pouring into and pouring into until
it plugs up.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe have to throw some pepper in it, you know, like you do on the radiator, to kind of seal up some of the holes, you know.
I did know that. My first car had a hole in the radiator, and I did put some pepper in it and sealed it up. You think I'm mechanically inclined, but I know some stuff.
So that's what it takes, Coach Steve. It's no group of people that I've ran across.
Good answer. And so, since you know the sequence of questions, you know my next question I'm going to ask you about is what your goals are. Goals that you already accomplished, and you discussed some of them, but goals that you've already accomplished that you can share with us, just to provide some inspiration, and goals that you're looking forward to accomplishing, let's say with the next 3 to 5, maybe even 10 years from now. So
we're not even gonna go 10 years, because I ain't even thought that far. I'm still at the 3 to 5 year.
Okay.
Trying to retire right now. So realistically, I think I can't really say I have a lot of goals at this point. A lot of my goals now are my kids' goals. Like right now, my oldest son, next year he'll finish. He's a sophomore now, but next year he'll finish high school. And his senior year, he's only doing college classes. So and he's doing college classes now. So his goal is to graduate with his associate's degrees, and he's on track for that. So my goal is to make sure that I'm doing everything to make their life as simple as possible, so they can focus on their goals and not have to worry about anything else that's going on right now. So my goals ultimately is just to keep that stability, make sure that my family is good, and make sure that my kids have everything that they need, and to keep them from, because, kids see things, we all got kids, and when kids see, if they see me stressing out, if they see me struggling, it eventually, rolls down to be their struggle. So my goal is to make sure I don't let them see that, and they continue to, stay on track with the things that they're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Is there any goals that you've already accomplished that, let's say, 10 years ago, you were going for a goal that seemed like a superior goal, a monstrous size goal, and you've accomplished it? Now that you look back on it, it may not mean as much looking back on it, but you still appreciate it, because at some point in time, you knew it was something that you had to work for.
So yes and no. But I can say, I forgot to mention, I do have another goal that I'm currently working on. It's not necessarily a goal; it's more of a plan.
Okay.
But I'm trying to, in the process now of selling this house, so I can get that dream house that my wife has been bugging me for 16 years for. I try not to say that out loud, but I did. But
you done.
But so trying to get her that house that she wants, and like I said, that piece of stability, because ultimately that's what keeps me sane. So anything that I got to do and whatever I got to work for to make sure that everybody in my household is good, then those are the things. The ultimate goal is going to happen in about 7 months. 7 months from now.
Yeah, you can keep referring to that.
Yeah, August 7th, 2021, man, when I get that 20-year letter, man.
Okay.
That's the ultimate goal. And then the goal 3 years from that date is retirement. And then just have some fun and travel the world, ride my motorcycles. Well, I got to get restocked up, because I sold all my motorcycles. So
you told them to buy more.
Yeah.
But we got a couple questions and a couple comments too. Kendra McDowell's on. She said plans are good to have, absolutely. And we got 2 comments that saying a happy wife is a happy life. One from Shayla, one from Kendra. So they talking about it.
That's a myth, though.
Just
read. Let them have it tonight. That'll be a whole nother hour trying to convince differently. But
I know. So let's just exactly. But a question that came in, man, just went away. Hold on, let me see. Can I bring this back up? There we go. Mr. Yoy, he said 2 leaders in this interview, but how do we help people become leaders? This is coming from a teacher with a sincere question because he has kids that have no belief that they can lead. That's question number 1.
So that is a good question.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you this just based off of my experience in leadership. When I first got to this unit that I'm in right now, I had a whole bunch of senior NCOs and senior NCOs, senior leaders, same thing for my military people. But they've made it to where they were, but they weren't ever put in a position where they had to lead. So one of the first things that I did was when I sat them all down, we had some classes, and I taught them. I ain't gonna say I taught them because we kind of just taught each other, but what leadership is and the levels of leadership pertaining to the military specifically. And then after that, I assigned them all mentees.
Mm-hmm.
So all the lower soldiers were then assigned, senior enlisted soldiers that's gonna, hey, this is every time you have a problem, you need to go and talk to this person.
Mm-hmm.
And it made those leaders get into a position where, and when I sat all the senior leaders down, I told them, I was like, hey, I don't want you to answer their question. I want you to provide them the resources to help them develop their own, So when they come and ask you a question, don't give them the answer. Maybe give them the reference and then tell them to go find the answer and then come back and give it to you. And then make sure that when they get done with that, they're giving that same thing to the people behind them. So
that's a good domino effect.
And it keeps the things going because, and I tell all the senior leaders, think about it like this, for me, I don't know if my kid's going to join the military. They may grow up and say, hey, I want to be like my dad and join the Army,
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure that I leave everything I can and everybody that's below me, and then they leaving everything that's below them to make sure that if my kids do decide to join the Army, that they're in good hands. And so that's the thing is, I think we have to do exactly what you've been doing for the past 3 years. You just got to put on, and you have to put yourself in position sometime and out of that comfort zone to talk to people and help them, develop and find themselves. And kids can be leaders. I tell my son all the time, I don't expect my son to not make mistakes by far. I know he's going to make mistakes because I made mistakes. However, I don't expect my sons to make the same mistake I made.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've told you about my mistakes. So don't do what I did. You make your own mistakes, but don't make the same mistakes I made because I've already told you what mistakes they are.
Don't waste that time. Yep.
Exactly. So, and I even tell them all the time, like even we're going to school, like it's okay to be around your friends and have fun, but you don't have to do the same thing that your friend is doing. Right from wrong. So when you get to that position and you ask yourself, man, would I do this in front of my daddy? And if you say no, it's go ahead and take a step back because you already know this ain't what you need to be doing. So, and I tell them all the time, like when you start doing that, kids gonna probably pick on you a little bit and say, hey, you square, you don't do this, you don't do that. But at the end of the day, they're gonna respect the fact that this is who you are and you stand firm on it and don't change that.
You got standards, yeah.
Exactly. Because I mean, like even for me, right? I don't curse, right? And people ask me, how in the world you done been in the Army 20 years and ain't cursed nobody out? But I've done it. And it's been effective. It's been effective. But at the same time, people know I don't curse. And people walk in the room that I know curse like a sailor, but because they're in the room with me, they stop.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part of the game that you have to change, where you have to change what people do when they're around you. Don't change who you are when you're around them. And we got to teach the younger generation to do the same thing, because a lot of these kids are doing stuff just to impress their friends and they're making a lot of dumb mistakes that's affecting them for the rest of their lives.
For the rest of their life. Yeah.
Hopefully that answered your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was Mr. Yoy's question. Yeah, Coach Steve, he's got one more question up here. He said, last question. Advice for high school females who are considering joining the military after graduation. Do you have any advice for them? Yeah, they're coming at you. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to shoot that one to a friend of mine because it's a little different for females. And when I say different, it's not necessarily different. It's the same Army. However, the steps of what they may consider comfortable or not comfortable, is a little different from. So I don't really deal with a lot of female issues in the Army. I kind of just relay them to my battle buddies and let them kind of work those situations out. So I don't really have a detailed answer for that, Steve. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe you can tag somebody on this and they can at least fill in the blank of that answer.
I got about 4 people I can ask that question to that can give me a good solid answer. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of. One of my best friends is a master sergeant in the Army, and she's a female. So I mean, they have to put in the same amount of work, but there's opportunity, and the challenges are the exact same. Only difference is, a lot of stuff in the Army is changing because of the world is changing, and with equality stuff and everything that's going on, everybody wants equal rights. But at the same time, when you ask for equality, you also ask for everything that goes with that. So when it comes to the PT test, where there used to be a male-female standard,
I remember that.
That's no longer a thing. It's just a standard. So what we got to do, they have to do. So I mean, this I can tell you, the Army is not for everybody. The military is not for everybody. But I can tell you this: if you really want to experience and impact a world of change and learn a lot about yourself and develop, I highly recommend the military to anybody. I highly recommend. I feel like for males, it should be a mandatory 3 years right out of high school. I don't even think it should be an option.
I agree. I learned a lot, and I still came out to be. You learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself, and you still have fun. I think a lot of people miss the piece that you don't get to live a life. Like we had a life. We had a great life. I met great people, but I remember the standards, just like you were talking about. The piggyback just a little bit. When we to graduate airborne school at the time, back in what year was it? 1997. Yeah, I'm dating myself right now. To go through Fort Benning, Georgia, you had to complete a 6-mile run. No matter what your age was, no matter what your race was, nationality or sex, anything, whatever. If you fell out of that run, you were dismissed from the class, no matter who you were. I think it was week 3 or week 4. I can't remember. However, you had to complete the 6-mile run. It was at a decent pace, too. It wasn't a jogging pace. It wasn't walking. And if you fell out to the point where you could not catch up and keep pace, you were done. And that was the standard. And you kind of appreciate the people who have wings for life because you know what they went through, because there's certain standards that are in place for everybody. You know what I mean?
It's like a big sorority and a fraternity, man. That's what it is. And it is truly a brotherhood, because at the end of the day, when you're out there on the front line, or when you're deployed or mobilized or whatever you are, there's no black and white. There's at the end of the day, when those missiles and alarms start going off, when you put that gas mask on, only thing you see is this right here. And there ain't no color to it either. I mean, so when them bullets start flying and the things that come with it, man, it's yeah.
Yep.
You gotta make sure.
Mr. Yoy saying he loves this interview. That leadership is amazing. Absolutely. We talked about goals. We talked about a bunch of different things. But are there any books in particular? I know you kind of commented on it a little bit earlier in this interview, or stories, or people, or situations, or anything that you would like to share with us that have influenced you to become a better person, or something that you remember that was like a bookmark in the chapter of your life.
So, like I just mentioned, the Jim Collins From Good to Great, definitely one that I use. One of the things that I do now, a lot of, and if you go in my office at work, I read a bunch of stuff on leadership because I think that is the big piece of not only the military, but the big piece of life.
Life, yeah.
You know, and everybody has to have some type of leadership skill and to make sure that, you know, we're all moving at the same speed, man. Because with everything that's going on in the world, especially today, there's so much division, man. I never thought in my lifetime that I would see some of the stuff that my dad seen, you know, or that my grandpa seen. Like it's crazy to even know that, you know, people still have that thought process and that mentality. But at the end of the day, what we can't do is allow ourselves to sink into that same mindset, you know, and make sure that we're doing everything that we can to be the difference, to be the game changers, as you call it. So I try to make sure that I read a lot, anything leadership related. It's something that I try to make sure that I stay up on. I even got like groups where I send out quotes every morning and different things just to make sure people try to stay positive, man. It's so easy to get caught up in the negativity and the things that's going on. But if we all spread, like they used to say, each one teach one. You know, if everybody spread one positive thing to one person every day, just imagine how the world would be different. Even if you don't know your neighbors, it doesn't hurt to walk out when you see them in the yard and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, you don't have to know their name. You know, hey, I hope you're having a good day. You know, or if you got something like I had a bunch of my daughter was doing Girl Scout cookies, and I had a whole bunch of Girl Scout cookies in the yard, and some of my son's friends came down. It was about 16 kids out there in the front playing basketball. I opened the garage. I was like, "Hey, y'all come here and get some of these Girl Scout cookies," and then it turned to they went home and then they rode back on their bikes and they was like, "Hey, my mom said, do you have this kind?" You know, and I don't even know their mom. And I was like, "Yeah, go there, you know, get what you want." And they was on their bikes with boxes of Girl Scout cookies that we had. And, you know, and the thing is, it's not necessarily, it wasn't the fact of the Girl Scout cookies. It was just the fact that you did something that was positive, and you know, and that's how we make a difference in the world. That's one of the things that I try to focus on. And I like to have fun, man. You know, I call you every day on your day off to wake you up in the morning just to give you a hard time. Like it's not that I can call you and just.
I don't know why that's fun, but okay.
It's fun to me. I enjoy it because, you know, it is what it is. And I just like to have fun.
That ain't fun.
Because I just want you to stay on your game, man. I mean, everybody that follows your lives, nobody critique your lives like me, and you know it.
That is true.
Probably Shayla now. Shayla's starting to do it. But nobody critiques your lives like me. And I just want to make sure that I point out every single flaw so you can get better.
That's not being positive. That's being negative, too. So I just want to
But I'm trying to take you from good to great.
Yeah. It's a matter of opinion and perspective, but that's a whole nother conversation still. But all jokes aside, I appreciate that.
I'm following podcasts that I've never even followed before. I'm looking at stuff because I'm trying to figure out how we can get this platform to get on the level or better than other platforms that I see. So
I will say you've seen the growth from the mini tri or the holding the phone to the mini tripod to, I mean, you've actually been in the lab and told everybody to bring their pen and their pad physically. Now you're in the lab virtually. You got the scrolling thing going down below. And some of it, I will say, is all attributed to both you and Shayla, because y'all do behind the scenes like to antagonize and get on my nerves to force myself to step out of my comfort zone, my own comfort zone, my own words to elevate.
Mm-hmm. And what better words to use against you than your own? You know. I know. I go right into March 4th and be like, I thought you said, you know, why are you still doing this if you said that this is what you do? How are you going to tell other people? You know, because that's what I do.
I know.
Other people know what you're not doing. You know, so I mean, hey, I'm just trying to go from good to great, man. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fun ride. And going back to your comment about the kids with the Girl Scout cookie, I know that you're truly a giving person and you like to put smiles on people's faces too. So that doesn't surprise me that you would give out some Girl Scout cookies and they would come back and you would enjoy making that connection as well, because I mean, it's a positive connection. You just hook somebody up with something very small, But however, that's something that's very meaningful and another step in establishing a brick in the wall of life that makes life better for everyone. It's just a small piece, but that small piece was necessary to build that brick wall of life of positivity.
Yeah, I mean, I just did it. Matter of fact, we got a motorcycle ride in the morning, and one of my friends called me earlier today and said, "Hey, because I got 2 bikes. He's like, hey, which one of your bikes you ride?" I was like, man, I'm actually down to just one because one of my soldiers came over about 3 weeks ago and wanted me to put a new chain on his bike, but he bought a new chain but didn't buy a master link. So I took the master link off my bike and put it on his bike so he can go ride. So now my bike is down right now. So I mean that's one of the things, and I do all of that stuff because I truly enjoy, like you just said, I truly enjoy helping other people, and I honestly believe that every blessing that I've received in life came from what I put into other people, and I'm not necessarily doing it because I'm looking for something in return. I'm doing it because I genuinely like helping people. So if I can give the shirt off my back to make sure that you're warm when I'm cold, then I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, it's gonna come back twofold. So
yeah, it does. And Shayla comment that the two of y'all make us the whole team better. Mr. Yoy says Shayla rules in this process. Yeah,
that is a true statement, because when Shayla is not happy, the text thread and everything else goes to a complete halt, because I refuse to text when Shayla is upset. Matter of fact, I typically just go and start texting Cleo on a different text, but I'm like, I'm not responding until Shayla is happy.
That's a whole nother conversation. We don't have to put everything out there.
I'm just telling you, Shayla, you are the truth. I just want you to know.
Yeah. She can shut down a whole conversation for a day.
Absolutely. With something simple.
But I mean, we talked about a bunch of wonderful things. This was a great live. This was a lot of fun to do. And right now, is there anything through the course of conversation that I may have forgotten to ask you, or something that you may want to share with us right now? I'm reluctant to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The floor is partially yours.
You know what, man? I've enjoyed. I just looked up at the thing and I realized we've been going for an hour and 12 minutes, and I had no intentions of being on here that long. So I don't even think my first live was this long. But I guess in the process of you getting comfortable, I guess I done got comfortable too. So it is what it is. But and then I think when you're talking about something that I'm passionate about, or something that's in my element, it's easy for me to go on and on about it. So. I mean, I don't have anything else. All I say is, like I mentioned, each one teach one. Everybody try to just provide something positive. Even in a negative moment, even in a moment where you're probably not the happiest, if you can say one thing to make somebody else happy, to change their life, or even just a simple nice gesture, man. If you can afford it, and you can buy some donuts on your way to work just for your office. Do something to make people feel like they're a part of the team and that they mean something, because you never know when something as simple as a donut can bring somebody up from a moment where they're thinking about or even contemplating committing suicide. So those things. Make sure that everybody around you knows that you care, knows that you love them, and try to be that positivity and that leader that you are looking for in your own life, even if you don't have it. So that's all I got, man. I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time, but I have enjoyed this live. I wish I had my Saints backdrop like I had it, but I got my son's little ring light up here trying to put some light up here. So, but just everybody just try to just do something to keep everybody happy, man.
Absolutely.
We don't need any more negativity in the world, and no matter what your race, your ethnicity, your sex, any of that stuff, no matter what it is, there's always something nice that you can say to somebody. So just continue to do so, and that's all I got.
There you go. Shayla saying this was a great live, very informative. Mr. Yoy saying it was nice to meet you, and you are what makes this country rock. There you go.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And Jamone, you know what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it because you already stole my tagline a few times. However, I put on to put on. I know you know that because I do this because you took me out of my element by taking my tagline. But seriously, I do put on. If you've got a business product or positive message that you're looking for a platform to get that information out on, let me know. Inbox me, text me, get a hold of me. Let me know how we can help each other, how we can collaborate on something on this live. We'll go live in the lab. We'll tell everyone to get their pen and their pad. We can do it virtually now, anywhere around the world now, and any time of day. We can get that information out there. That information is important. Information is a commodity. The most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree? That's from the movie Wall Street. She looking at me crazy. If you've got a business, product, or positive message, let me know. We're going to get that information out there. I want everyone to live their life with a purpose, and I want everyone to evolve so hard. Next week, I got a special guest. It starts off a new month coming to the lab. I'm not gonna. Well, you don't. You may not even know. I don't think I put February schedule out there.
It don't matter. Don't ask me because I already know the answer to the question.
Yeah, I know you do know the answer to the question. However, and I caught myself in the middle of it because even though you may not, on a normal day, you will probably know or be able to look it up because you got access to the schedule. So tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Next week we'll have somebody special in the lab for next week. We'll have a special guest, and we're gonna have fun doing it. Thank you for tuning in, Jamone. Thank you for giving a wonderful live. We gotta leave doing one more thing. What are we about to do? What is it? What's it called?
No, it's the money dance, man. It's the money dance. Two broke people doing the money dance.
Huh?
Two broke people doing the money dance.
All right, nah, man. Here we go. He's funny. Thank you, guys. Take care of each other. Stay healthy. Wash your hands, and we're gonna get through this together. It's Coach Clee. It's your motivational speaker, your empowerment coach, your author, and your favorite baker's favorite baker saying peace.